Let me just say this, I actually really enjoyed Dragon Ball Super. While the series does have a lot of flaws, which I'm gonna be mentioning and talking about in this video, it doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the series as a whole. There are probably hundreds of channels on YouTube that are strictly dedicated to Dragon Ball, and they always overanalyze everything about the series. While I do appreciate that, and this isn't that type of channel, I am a fan and I do feel like I have an opinion on this. And again, while I am gonna be shitting on this anime this whole video, I still think it's a pretty good watch. Let's get right into it. I might as well just let the cat out of the bag right now. The biggest problem with Dragon Ball Super is that it was way too transparent and obvious that they were just making stuff up as the series went on. And by they, I mean Toriyama. He was obviously making stuff up. The reason why it's so obvious that stuff is being made up, it's a result of stuff being way too hyped up earlier in the franchise. Back in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku first turned Super Saiyan, it was this grand epic transformation that he was only able to reach after seeing many of his friends die by the hands of Frieza and almost dying himself as Frieza was blowing up the planet. Obviously, everyone loved the transformation. Who doesn't want to see a character reach his untapped potential? The thing is, after Goku reached Super Saiyan, the bar for turning Super Saiyan kept on getting lower and lower and lower and lower, to the point where Goten was able to turn Super Saiyan simply by training with Chi-Chi. And a lot of Dragon Ball fans swear they have an answer to this. Some of the theories involve Goten being the son of Goku, so he's able to transform in an easier way, which this theory is honestly already debunked because Cabba was able to train with Vegeta and turn Super Saiyan really quick, and Cabba has no type of inheritance from Goku or Vegeta. Another theory is that Saiyans are just able to learn quickly, so they can just watch someone turn Super Saiyan and they'll turn Super Saiyan themselves. Even Toriyama himself stepped in and said the reason why Goten was able to turn Super Saiyan so fast is because Goku activated a lot of quote S cells, and when Goten was born, he inherited a lot of these S cells. No. And remember what I said, Toriyama is infamous for just making stuff up. You wanna know what I think about these theories? They're a big steaming fat pile of The truth is, there is no in-universe answer to this. The reason why the bar for turning Super Saiyan keeps getting lowered and lowered is because the enemies in Dragon Ball keep getting stronger and stronger, and the characters can't just stay weak, and the quickest way to get them to become stronger is to simply turn them Super Saiyan. With that being said, when Goku first turned Super Saiyan, it was grand, it was epic, but after that, the bar got lowered. People kept on turning Super Saiyan way faster, and to be honest, I don't really have a problem with that. It had to be done this way for plot purposes. But the part where Toriyama really up is when he portrayed Super Saiyan being as this legendary transformation that most Saiyans think is a myth. And this goes back to me saying that Toriyama loves overhyping things. So if you fast forward to the Dragon Ball Super movie to the Planet Vegeta scenes, there's a whole planet full of Saiyans, but nobody, and I mean nobody, not even Goku's father, not even Vegeta's father, can turn Super Saiyan. So you mean to tell me that there's a whole planet of Saiyans and none of them can turn Super Saiyan, yet Goten was able to turn Super Saiyan training with Chi-Chi? This makes no sense at all. This makes absolutely no sense. And you can tell that the reason why no Saiyans and Planet Vegeta are able to turn Super Saiyan is because Toriyama had previously already portrayed in Dragon Ball Z that Saiyans already think that Super Saiyan is this legend, it's this myth. This is where everything contradicts itself. For most of Dragon Ball Z and the whole entire of Dragon Ball Super, the bar for turning Super Saiyan just kept on getting lowered and lowered. And so when you have this new movie out that takes place in the past, it looks really dumb when no one can turn Super Saiyan in the entire planet of Saiyans. And all of this could have been avoided if Toriyama did not portray Super Saiyans as being this myth that no Saiyans have ever actually seen. And this is why a lot of people think that Dragon Ball Z should not have passed the Cell Saga, because things were already hyped to a degree where it hit the ceiling. Let me give you another example of how another show made things really cool and exciting without hyping things way too much. So in Naruto, I'm sure a lot of you remember the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight. There's a part where Kakashi and Guy are explaining the 8 gates, and Rock Lee is able to use 4 out of the 8 gates in order to really beat up Gaara. Rock Lee reached this really cool transformation, but we still know that there are 4 more gates that he can reach. Obviously he couldn't reach it yet, but we know that in the future there's a possibility that he'll become really strong because there are still 4 more gates that he can reach. I guarantee you, if Toriyama was writing Naruto, Rock Lee would have reached all 8 gates right there, and then in the future when Rock Lee is facing someone else and he needs to be stronger, Toriyama would have just made something up, and then boom, Rock Lee has this new power that we've never heard of before. In Dragon Ball Z, we never hear about the word Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct. We never hear about any of these things because they were all made up during Dragon Ball Super. And I know what some of you are thinking right now, but it's an anime, everything is made up. Which is true, but in Dragon Ball Super, it's way too transparent. Even Naruto himself, for example, right? In the anime, it's always foreshadowed that he can lose control of his powers because when he transforms, the more tails he has, the stronger he gets. So it was always foreshadowed that he was eventually gonna lose himself and then the Nine-Tailed Fox would come out of him. That was always foreshadowed. So when it actually happened, when he was fighting Pain, it didn't feel random and made up. And it's not just the power levels that Toriyama hypes up way too much. It's the villains too. Each time a new villain gets introduced in Dragon Ball, they're always the strongest in the world, the strongest in the universe, the strongest in the galaxy. And you start to wonder, how far can they keep going? Because they keep doing this over and over again. How far, how much more powerful can they be? Dragon Ball Super takes this to the extreme because now there are 13 universes that we know about, and each universe has a destroyer. There would be nothing wrong with this if it was foreshadowed that there were more universes and if it was foreshadowed that there were destroyers in Dragon Ball Z, but no, it was never foreshadowed at all. So it all just feels made up. It all just feels made up to keep the plot more interesting, and the villains just feel made up so that Goku, Vegeta, and all of them just have people to fight because they're all already overpowered. And that is the biggest problem with Dragon Ball Super. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.